Hello everyone! So a couple of days ago I put out a story on my Instagram asking people for some questions for a Q&A, and today I'm going to be answering them. And I also put it on my YouTube community post, so I'm going to be answering some questions from those comments there as well. I've not really done a Q&A before, so we'll see how this goes. At WillI54 asks, how did you learn to become a guitar tech? So I never really did anything formal to learn to be a guitar tech. I can't really imagine that there really is anything formal, like you can't go to uni for it. I guess you could go to school for like woodworking. But my whole journey as a guitar tech really started with this guitar. So if you've been a viewer on my channel for a while, you've probably seen this guitar before. This is a Harley Benton. This is a guitar that my girlfriend got me for Christmas in 2021, I think. This is such a great guitar to start modding. And prior to this, I had zero experience with modding. So the first mod I did on it was this Seymour Duncan Hot Rails pickup. And my initial thought was, I don't even know how to swap a pickup. I'm gonna take it to the guitar shop and have them do it for me. But then I just thought, you know what? How hard can it be? So I just bought the pickup, and then I tried swapping it out, and it turns out it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was gonna be. And then eventually the mods turned from this pickup to this bridge, adding a bridge, and then swapping another pickup, and then eventually the Sustainiac, which took forever to do. It took so much like chiseling because there's no space in here for PCB, for the PCB and stuff. But yeah, this guitar kind of spawned my whole journey as a guitar tech. Thank you, Hannah, again, I guess. She's the best. And I'll also quickly shout out this place called Axworth Guitar Setups, I think they're called. They used to run out of my local PMT in Leeds. PMT is a music shop for those who are unaware. I just kind of went in one day and just said, hey, it'd be cool if I could learn a couple stuff from you guys. And the guy who taught me, Damien, he was so sick. He helped me kind of understand things like setup, action, intonation, all the technical nitty-gritty stuff of that kind of stuff. But because of like uni coursework and like deadlines and all that kind of stuff, I couldn't end up going there as much as I wanted, so I eventually stopped going there. And their actual main shop was based out of Huddersfield, so the commute to that place was quite a trek. Yeah, Damien from Acros Guitar Setups was a real legend in helping me out. At a guy that plays guitar 73 asks, when are you gonna do stuff with Sound of Modesty, plus any cool guitars you've done up? So, Sound of Modesty is my band, and we haven't done stuff in quite a while. Our singer Yvonne, she moved to Bristol last year, and our keyboard player moved home as well, so we're kind of all scattered across the country. Thankfully still within the country at least. But yeah, we're kind of all scattered around the place, but we do have stuff coming up soon. So keep an eye out for that. We've got a single that's hopefully going to come out soon. We're just in the middle of sorting out things like music videos. Basically, we're going to rebrand the whole Sound of Modesty thing and try to get ourselves out of this uni band thing that we once were into this kind of actual playing shows, real band, I guess, which we're moving slowly. But yeah, for now, check out our album. It's called Cognitive Dissonance. It came out in 2022. It's got some pretty cool stuff on there. Keep an eye out for Sound of Modesty stuff. At jack.lloyd.hk asks, top 3 baritones you would want. Very quickly, Jack Lloyd is a friend of mine back in Hong Kong. He's an incredible photographer. I'm going to link to his Instagram here, so you should check his stuff out. Top 3 baritones I would want. So I've got the Gretsch already, so I guess that's out the window now. So I'll discount this one. Top 3 baritones. First one comes to mind is the Schecter Hellcat 6, which is like their take on a bass 6. I think it looks so sick, especially in the white version. Maybe number 2 would be the Sub-Zero Rogue 6. I've heard mixed feelings about it, but I feel like for how cheap it is, I feel like I could probably spend a couple more, set it up well, make my own pickups for it, and maybe get it to be really good, so I might do that for a future video. And number 3, you know, back when Rabia was with Chapman, his Chapman baritone, I had one come in for a setup a while ago. That thing looked so beautiful. I'm so sad they discontinued it. Obviously Rabia's with Music Man now, so, and congrats to him for that as well. But the his Chapman baritone in that kind of grayish maple burl top thingy. It just looks so sick. So yeah, number 1, Schecter Hellcat 6. Number 2, maybe the Sub-Zero Rogue 6. And number 3 is the Chapman Rabir baritone that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, those 3. And then this question I got multiple times. How to get into guitar teching with a band, how to network and find bands. So how to be a guitar tech for a band. This is a really disappointing answer. I got really lucky. I feel like a lot of people who end up in this industry got really lucky because they knew a guy who knows a guy. Maybe many chains of I know a guy who knows a guy and who knows a guy. I was quite fortunate in that I know a guy who knows the band. So I got into teching with Loathe because I've mentioned this in a previous video. Adam, their front of house engineer, is a longtime friend of the band, and I came to know Adam from uni. He was a classmate of mine in 2nd year.
Can I have a bit more guitar in my ears?
In your ears?
No?
I don't think the
Please?
guitar...
The weird thing was, I had never done guitar teching professionally. At that point, he just knew that I liked guitars and I liked modding, and I was a big fan of just the overall thing of guitar and how they work and that kind of stuff, and I guess he knew that. So unfortunately, there's no step-by-step guide on how to be a guitar tech for a band. But what I can do is offer you some advice on things to do to increase your luck to potentially get picked up by someone who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy to be a guitar tech. So number 1 obviously is know your stuff, know what you're doing, be competent, I guess. Number 2 is be open about it, be proud about it. I would post stories as I was figuring stuff out. For the first time, I posted making pickups and my whole journey starting from making my very first pickups and that kind of stuff. Things like that can just help people be aware of your existence and of your knowledge. That can hopefully increase your chances of being picked up by someone who can hopefully link you up with a band. A lot of it is luck, but there are things you can do to increase your luck to get picked up by a band in the end. So to everyone who's trying to get picked up by a band, I wish you the best. @littlesleepy.n asks, what do you do after you achieve something and there's nothing else for you to do? Boy, that's a heavy one. Alright, I got it. So, if you ever reached a point in your life where you feel like you've done everything and there's nothing else for you to do, here's what you do. You build a mindset for yourself where everything you do is not good enough, and you let it fester in your brain, and then that turns into a mindset of, wow, there's always going to be so much more for me to learn, and I'm always going to be one step behind. So you just keep doing it until eventually you still think you're not good enough, but then you've learned a lot on the way. So I guess that's a good thing?
I'm not good enough. What?
@tootsies.roll asks, the most memorable / enjoyable part of touring. I don't know. There are a lot of good ones. Days off are always fun. Not to say that the actual touring and doing my job isn't fun, but days off are fun because you get to explore the actual city you're in. So I remember in the last tour we had a day off in New York, and that was honestly such a really good time. A big group of us, we just got together and just did a whole bunch of exploring. We went to the Natural History Museum, went to Central Park, we went to Ichiran. Ichiran was so good. Oh, I miss Ichiran. I wish we had Ichiran in the UK. I need Ichiran in my life right now. And then after that, I split off from them and just did my own sightseeing. I took a whole bunch of photos. Yeah, that was honestly such a great time, just walking around New York by myself, just taking photos and just kind of taking in the whole city. Manhattan, I should specify, because I know people get technical about like Manhattan, Queens, and all that stuff when people just say, oh, I went to New York, but they had just been to Manhattan. So yes, I was talking about Manhattan, New York. But yeah, it was honestly so good. So I guess, as a general, days off on tour are always a lot of fun. @albert.blazebjerg, don't know if I pronounced that right. How do you start making pickups? Tips and tricks. So I started making pickups around maybe like a year and a half ago. There's a video on my channel kind of documenting my whole kind of journey of figuring out how to make pickups. And it started with that very same winder. That winder was bought from Taobao for equivalent to, I think, 10 pounds. And those things are designed to wind transformers. They had a hand crank on it, and eventually I found out that wasn't the most efficient way to do it. But then those actual really proper big expensive pickup winders are expensive. So I just keep working with this for now. I just like use a drill, jam it up to the shaft, and then let that spin, kind of spinning surface, and then that's how I wind my pickups, which I've not come across many issues with that at the moment, so that's worked very well for me. For those who don't know, Taobao is like even more Chinese AliExpress. Taobao is only in Chinese, there's no English website, and it only ships to either China or sometimes it'll ship to Hong Kong. So I got that shipped to Hong Kong the last time I was there visiting family. But I'm pretty sure there'll be similar things on AliExpress, and then you could probably get started doing that. As for getting pickup parts, I use allegree.co.uk or accessoris.co.uk I think as well, and they just supply really good high quality parts with a whole bunch of different options. So that's generally what I use, and just do lots of research, how pickups work, what different parts will give what kind of effect, how it affects the sound, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was kind of my general starting point for making pickups. And this will be the last question for today. At Dungeon Hardware 7430 asks, if you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would you pick? Oh, that's difficult. I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to mainly rock music. Recently started getting back into metal. I'd say if there had to be one artist I could listen to for the rest of my life, I think I'd have to pick Yorushika. They're a Japanese rock band, and they just make really good music. I don't really know how to describe it. Their music can be easy to listen to, fun to listen to, really evocative. They have a good balance of everything, I feel like. They're not particularly heavy or anything, so that I guess I'll happily lose that aspect of my listening taste if I had to. My answer is Yorushika. I would recommend you guys, if you guys don't know them, check them out as well. They're a really great artist. I think they're a duo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're a duo, so check them out, Yorushika. Yeah, they're awesome. And yeah, that wraps up for today's Q&A. If you guys want me to do another Q&A, put more questions down in the comments, and I'll try get around to another Q&A at some point in the future. Or not, if you guys didn't like it, then don't put any questions down in the comments, and I guess I'll hear you guys loud and clear from that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.